Good afternoon. Tony Arroyo for Broadcast My Talent. We're down at the Jacob Javits Comic Book Convention in New York City. And just over my shoulder, they're celebrating 75 years of DC entertainment. And we've got these displays with all these wonderful costumes throughout the ages. Imagine 75 years of telling stories. That's since World War II. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Stories that have entertained generations from 8 to 80. And hopefully they'll be doing that for years to come. We're going to go around and see if we can scare up some more interviews from some of the big up-and-coming independents. We'll see what we can turn up. Hope you stick around. Tony Arroyo, Broadcast My Talent. Tony Arroyo for Broadcast My Talent, and we're here, and I'm honored to be with this gentleman. His name is Dan Parent, and he is an artist for Archie Comics. And I want to start off by saying something I said to you just now, Mr. Parent. As a guy, sometimes you don't mention you grew up reading Archie Comics. It's almost like a girl's thing to do. But I always loved the stories. They were sweet, I guess you could say, in the kind of way, and innocent. And tell us about your background, how long you've been an artist with the company, and any particular changes you see with maybe modernizing the characters or whatever.
Okay. Well, I have been with Archie Comics for 26 years, and I'm an artist and a writer. I went to art school at the Joe Kubert School, which is a cartoonist school in New Jersey. So as I grew up a comic book fan, I always wanted to be into comics. I was also an Archie fan. And right now I'm writing and drawing. Over the years I've drawn and written for every character we do, which is Archie, Betty, Veronica, Jughead, Josie and the Pussycats, Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I've pretty much written all of them. And now we are, the current projects I'm working on are, working on the Archies World Tour, where the Archies band used to be around. We're going on a world tour. Working on Betty and Veronica. Working on Archies. Got a new romance with Valerie from Josie and the Pussycats, which is exciting. We've got some new additions to the Archie universe. We've got Kevin Keller, who's the first gay Archie character. And but yeah, so there's like a whole bunch of things that we do to keep Archie kind of modern and relevant. We've added a lot of diversity to Archie, which wasn't there in the past. So we are definitely trying to keep Archie up into the 21st century.
Do you think it's necessary to, I won't say cater to like the modern generation or the new generation that's just discovering Archie, but how do you keep the people who grew up with the comic over the 70s and 60s, how do you keep them without losing them to the modern way of telling comic book stories? I know a lot of comic books are going dark. Right. The characters are gritty, but I've always loved the innocence of the Archie stories. They were just great as a kid growing up.
Right. Basically, pretty much all the fans who are really into Archie have really stayed with Archie. I mean, every once in a while you do a storyline that somebody doesn't like, and that's the price you pay. But sometimes you bring in a lot more fans. Like when we announced we were going to have a gay character in Archie, there was a few people that weren't happy about it, but a lot more people came on board. And actually the classic Archie fans, or at least most of the fans that I meet here at the shows and the conventions, were pretty much fine. It wasn't an issue. And we've had things with Archie was dating Valerie from Josie. It's the first time Archie's dated a black girl. So 99.9% of Archie fans are fine. You might hit down in the South, you might hit a few snags down there. So
he's still living in a bomb shelter. Forgot it's 2013.
Right. There's still a few backward thinkers, but for the most part, 99.9% are fine.
I remember the cartoon from the 70s, and I'd run home with my sister home from school, and we'd make peanut butter sandwiches and watch the Archie cartoon and do our homework and be happy with that. But thank you for your time, Mr. Parent, and keep doing this stuff. I mean, I've loved comic books all my life, but again, there's some that stay with your heart, and it's like an ongoing soap opera with Archie and Betty and Veronica, and as long as it never gets resolved, I guess it's okay that he can juggle two babes at one time.
Sure. Oh yeah, definitely. It won't be resolved. Don't worry.
Mr. Parent, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. It was an honor to meet you. Tony Arroyo, BMT. Tony Arroyo with BMT, and I'm here with Mr. Steven Segovia, and he's an artist for DC Comics, and I mean, a great one, and I'm following a storyline he's working on. I'll let him tell you all about it, Mr. Segovia.
You guys are so kind. You guys are so kind. No, I'm not that really popular, but yeah, thank you.
Can you tell us anything? I see that you did the cover for one of the issues coming out. Can you tell us anything about what you know about how the storyline is going and the changes going on with the characters?
Actually, I can't tell more about the story because I don't know if it's not come out yet. So yeah, it's actually Hal Jordan will be joining the Red Lantern, but I can't tell other details.
Okay, right. Well, I don't want you to spoil anything, but basically, if you haven't been following the storyline, there's a character called Relic, a huge villain in the DC pantheon right now, and he's systematically trying to destroy every color in the Green Lantern spectrum. And I'm personally following this storyline, and it's really good. And I'm honored to meet Mr. Segovia because he did the upcoming cover for one of the episodes where Hal Jordan goes to approach the Red Lanterns about what's coming their way. And of course, there's always that fractionized rivalry between the ring colors.
Rivalry each other. So,
how long have you personally been an artist?
Internationally, like 5 years, because I've been an artist in the Philippines also. So if you mix together, that will probably 8 years. So yeah.
How'd you hook up with DC?
I don't know. I just sent samples with the publishers, and then I sent samples with DC, and then they actually replied to me and saying that, you know what, you need more practice. And then I was actually proud that they replied to me, although I was rejected. But then after a few more samples, and then they said yes, can do some issues for DC Comics, and then yeah, I got the break. Yeah.
You know, besides the regular business of giving interviews and things like that, what you just said is going to inspire a lot of young people. You know, because you just said you were rejected first, and then they picked you up later on. So practice does make perfect. You know?
It's actually a good thing because they're not ignoring you, you know, and then they give you a chance. Like, you know, you need more practice. Just send me a new stuff once you're done. You know, just embellish your work and stuff. You know, yeah, it's a good thing. And I mean, don't stop.
I had told my partner here that I was specifically looking for DC to ask them about this storyline and something else going on with the Justice League, and it looks like some really good stuff coming down the road, and it's been an honor to meet and talk with you. Reading these books is one thing, but meeting the talent behind them is a pretty amazing experience, and thank you for your time, Mr. Segovia. Tony Arroyo, BMT. Well, we're about to wrap things up here at the Jacob Javits Convention in New York City. We had a blast as always, got a chance to meet a few very, very talented people, and found out some interesting stuff from some up-and-coming independents who we'll be following very closely. Thank you for tagging along. I'm Tony Arroyo for BMT. Have a good day.